welcome to the Be Well channel, where we talk all things health, wellness, and lifestyle. Whether you're joining for the first time or you are coming back to see what was going to be next on the channel, I'm so glad that you are here today. So last week we talked about what health and wellness trends to expect in the new year, and speaking of the new year, today we're talking resolutions. So maybe you are or aren't a New Year's resolution person, but my intent with this video is to encourage you that they can be fun and fulfilling and to inspire you to stick with them. Sticking with your New Year's resolution might be harder than you would expect. And maybe you've given it a go and found that out for yourself, but you are not alone in that. Research has shown that something like 80% of people who make New Year's resolutions end up giving up on them as early as February. But why is that? And how do we overcome those statistics? We are covering that and more in this video, so stick around. First, I think it's important that we talk about why you should even have a New Year's resolution. People can hate on resolutions by saying that they're outdated and an empty gesture, but really is an empty gesture without you letting it be one? New Year's resolutions are a great way to set your goals and intentions for the coming year. And maybe you're great at setting and achieving your goals year-round, but there's nothing wrong with celebrating the coming of a new year with hope and optimism. Perhaps you look back a little less than fondly on the previous year, and you are hoping for more or better in the coming one. If 2021 was not your year, and it wasn't mine in a lot of ways, then you can absolutely turn the tide by setting the tone early in 2022. So one way to consider how vital it is to set goals is to think of it as the first step in transitioning from playing a passive part in your life to becoming an active creator of your life. I like how healthdirect.gov puts it: having goals is a good way to focus attention on the things that are important. It allows us to create a vision of how we would like our life to be. When we have a goal, we tend to increase the amount of time and effort we spend on an activity and develop effective strategies to achieve that goal. So setting goals gives you a focal point to direct your time and energy, which are both things that really need a solid direction. Otherwise, they can result in a lack of motivation, a buildup of stress, and even feelings of worthlessness. You can certainly turn things around any time of the year, but we all know that it is so easy to just get caught up in trying to manage day by day, which is important and practical, but we can always do better and look towards the new year with optimism that things can be different, be better, and be well. So set the tone early in 2022 by taking charge of your life and mapping out those goals and intentions. But why do most New Year's resolutions get shoved to the back of the closet? Kind of like that sweater that you wore once and you liked but didn't love it, so there it has sat for years while you wear the same ones in a steady rotation. Anyway, ambition is great to have, but if you have never worked out a day in your life and resolved to follow a strict exercise routine in the new year, it's going to be difficult. Perhaps more difficult than you had anticipated. And then it's overwhelming, it doesn't feel reasonable for you, and you're down on yourself for not keeping up, and ultimately you give up. But it isn't because it is not achievable for you. It just isn't a practical resolution for you at that time. A more broad and realistic resolution for someone who does not typically exercise may be something like to go on a walk every day or to work out twice a week. And who says that you can't alter your resolution as the year goes on? Start realistically for your abilities in your situation and add to it once you've reached those smaller goals. You will feel much more capable and your confidence will grow. So have high standards for yourself, but be reasonable in where you should start. Starting anything is an achievement in and of itself. So avoid those lofty goals and be realistic in setting achievable goals for you in the new year, and you are sure to do some truly great things. Now, we all probably know that there are some typical resolutions that people tend to make in anticipation of the new year, but you don't have to follow the status quo. Resolutions like get a gym membership, start a journal, lose weight, spend more time outdoors or with family, and find love are arguably the most popular resolutions, but for good reason. They all represent a significant part of life that people typically want to fulfill or achieve something in. But your New Year's resolution should be structured to you. So although exercise more or read more books aren't bad ideas, don't be afraid to get more specific and make them your own. If you take the time to consider your desires and your capabilities and form a solid resolution around them, you're at least doubly more likely to follow through with them because they are personal and meaningful to you. Well, we covered a lot in today's talk, but I hope that you had some great takeaways. Maybe you are ready to commit to a New Year's resolution, or you are inspired to stick with your resolution. And those are my hopes for you from this video. Remember that your New Year's resolution is for you alone. So cater it to yourself, be realistic but optimistic, and don't forget to take the appropriate steps to set yourself up for success. My New Year's resolutions for 2022 are to challenge myself physically by getting comfortable with an elevated heart rate. That is a story for another day, but also to finish my novel and continue putting out content that I'm passionate about on the Be Well channel. So now you know my resolutions. I guess that makes you my accountability partner. And don't worry, I can be yours too. This week, I'd really love to see some action in my comments section. So go there, tell me your resolutions, or just drop in to say hi. Thank you for joining in today. I'm so glad that you did. I hope that you were inspired to continue the effort to be well. That's all for today. We'll talk again real soon.